You're listening to Moment of Truth, a weekly challenge from the front lines of faith, as heard on Courageous Christianity with Richard Mendelow, a radio show and podcast about real faith for the real world.
Today, our Moment of Truth comes from Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 27, which say, "Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it." Friends, in this life, the rain will fall, floods will come, and the winds will blow. Loved ones will get sick, there will be accidents, we will lose jobs, we will lose friends, and there will be struggles we could never imagine. Life is hard, and we need a firm foundation on which to place our hope. If you put your hope in politics, you're putting your hope in men. You're hoping that they'll be different tomorrow than they were yesterday. You're hoping they'll be less self-righteous, less self-centered, and less greedy. You're hoping that the schemes of men and the thinking of men will suddenly be right, and that the people who created the problems will suddenly have the wisdom to fix them. If, on the other hand, your hope is in God and His Son, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, and the unchanging truth of the Bible, which describes the behavior of men in past and present times with terrifying accuracy, then you'll look at politics as a necessary human undertaking, necessary for people to live together, but not as the focus of your hope. Then, having solidified that conclusion, you may jump to the next level of understanding, which says that if you elect representatives who place their hope in God and His Son Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, and the unchanging truth of the Bible, you will have made the wisest choice. A word that's been coming up a lot for me lately is sophistry. When I first encountered it in a book I was reading a few weeks ago, I had to look it up. I discovered that sophistry is the use of clever, subtle, and superficially plausible arguments that are actually false. They're fallacious, and they're misleading. It's one of my new favorite words to describe much of what we see in politics today. As you've heard me say many times, politics is downstream of culture, and culture is downstream of faith. Faith is the foundation. Faith determines what's true and what's false, what's right and what's wrong, what's valuable and what's fanciful. In short, faith determines our understanding of reality. Knowing that and believing that is courageous Christianity.
This has been your Moment of Truth. To hear the full conversation, visit courageouschristianity.today/listen or search Courageous Christianity with Richard Mendelow wherever you get your podcasts.